Hello and welcome to another rendition of 5 Minute Features. Today we're going to be talking about something a little different because we're not going to actually be in the Databricks workspace at all. But I wanted to touch upon something that I think is really cool that was released by Databricks recently, which is the AI Dev Kit. Um, so what it is, here I have the GitHub repo, but basically it's a set of MCPs and skills for use in agentic development that allows you to build Databricks stuff. So as you can see down here, there's basically opportunities for building everything from declarative pipelines, jobs, and AI BI dashboards to ML flow experiments and model serving in Databricks apps. So you can actually build pretty much anything in Databricks, but with the help of agents in your local machine. And it's actually really cool because it's set up so that you can run it with any kind of agent. And I'm just going to show you how to set it up, and then we can maybe talk about some of the fun things I've been building myself. So I've just done a little bit of pre-cooking just to check that it works. But basically, this is just the install prompt for a default install in Windows. And you can see if I fire that off, it checks a couple of prerequisites, and I have all three of them, so that's good. Databricks CLI being the main one you probably need to worry about if you haven't set that up already. Then you need to pick which skills you want to, which agent basically you want to use, right? So I'm just going to stick with Claude Code because that's one I use the most. I click confirm. Then you're going to select what Databricks profile you're going to be working up against. Let me just make that a little bigger. So basically, you can select which from any of the ones you have. Free is my own personal one, so I'm going to use that. Then you need to choose whether to install on a project or a global level. I would recommend for most things to do it on the project level. But if you see it fit for doing it on a global level, you can do that. And then you need to pick what kind of skills you want. So basically, there's a lot of skills, as I just mentioned, a total of 34, and you can pick the ones you actually need. So let's say for this project, I only need app development. Then I can pick that, but I can also, if I want to, pick data engineering just because I don't know if I might need to build, let's say, a Databricks job, right? So I'm just going to stick with those two. You can also pick custom, and then you can actually get each of the skills individually, and you can tick them off one by one. So for example, I could do then apps without lake base, but I could also then have pipelines and jobs without streaming, for example. I press confirm. And then I have to select the install path. Basically, that's usually the folder you're in. So I have an empty repo here, so I'm just going to hit enter. And then I'm going to say I want to proceed with the installation. Yes. All right. And then it's going to start setting things up. Um, so what it does is it basically it loads a set of skills into your local ID. And if you've worked with agents and haven't worked with skills yet, you're missing out. But basically, they are small text files that your agent can use for context. So basically, it helps the agent reason with and resonate over how to do specific tasks related to what you're asking it to do. So let's say you want to develop a Databricks app, then it'll actually have a set of folders inside where it actually is able to understand what process is it to build a Databricks app. All right, so what you get is in here .claude because I picked Claude code for my agent, and then you can see all sorts of different folders in here, and each of them contain Markdown files. So you can see Databricks bundles, for example, that's your declarative automation bundles. That's the name now, right? So you'll see some guidance on that. A general skill here. And then inside of that, it has a couple of reference files for specific edge cases, for example. So there's one specific one for Spark declarative pipelines. That's hard to say, apparently. But there's examples. There's lots of do's and don'ts, and there's actually example code in here as well. There's also details on how to run things, and basically you get that for each of the different things you have to do, right? So, oh, that was too much. It also has an install skills overview, so you can actually point it to this, and then it can reroute into where the skills actually are. And with that, you're actually going to be able to supercharge your Databricks development in your local ID a lot faster. And the cool thing is that when you then start using your Claude or your GitHub Copilot or whatever you choose, then you can actually, using the MCP, you can actually run things against your Databricks workspace, like through the CLI. And in that way, you can actually do all of your development locally. And the agent is then able to go and fetch results, for example, from job runs or from bundle deployments. And then it can actually use that to then reason with and improve on its own mistakes or shortcomings. So that's AI Dev Kit. If you haven't tried it out yet, I would highly suggest it. You can build lots of cool production ready stuff. You can also just build a lot of fun stuff. I think that's a lot of what I've been doing with it so far. But if nothing else, then thank you for watching and have a nice day.